Hey guys, welcome to Never Offside with Julie and Kat. Today we have a special guest, wife of Eric Goodbranson, Sarah Goodbranson. She's a dentist, which is pretty cool. So we're going to talk to her about a bunch of stuff. So excited for her. And yeah, hey Jules.
Hi. I'm sleeping over here. I was actually thrown off because you usually say episode number 11, and you didn't say that today because we got told.
Yeah, we were advised not to today because
you
it's getting old.
stopped referring to your kids by, it's kind of like that. You don't refer to your kids by months once they turn certain years old.
Yep.
So I guess we've graduated, and now we're just rolling, but we're episode number 11. Little sleepy over here this Monday, not gonna lie. The guys had an 8 p.m. game on Saturday, and those just rock me. Like, I feel hungover from it.
It's uncalled for. An 8 p.m. game is so uncalled for.
Well, yeah.
God forbid you go into overtime. You are not home until
1 a.m. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I also had 3 kids with me, so that didn't. Anyways, I just feel completely a little out of sorts because we don't have 8 o'clock games here often. And I think back in Edmonton when Jeff played there, thank God it was before kids because they only played 8 o'clock games. Like, didn't matter if it was Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, always 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
And wow, I just really. Oof.
That was the same with Calgary, but at least the nice thing is, in Calgary, we all lived close, so, but I mean, there are places where, say you have a late game and then the rink's an hour away. It's just uncalled for.
It's, tell the
Tell
TV,
yeah.
tell the TV deals how uncalled for it is.
How uncalled for and
they might disagree.
Unnecessary it is and
anyways,
unfair.
yeah, it's, I mean, it even changes the whole routine at the house. I went into our bedroom it was 4:15 and I was stressing out that Jeff missed his alarm.
Oh, yeah.
So, I let 4 o'clock come, and I was like, okay, it's a late game. And then it was 4:15. I was like, no, he should be up by now. So I went in, their lights were still off, and I just stood there. I stood really still, what should I do? Should I go wake him up? Should I not? And then all of a sudden he, rustled over, and I was like, okay, are you going to be late? What are you doing? And he's like, I'm waking up in 15 minutes. I was like, oh, shoot. I'm sorry.
Oh, God, that's the worst.
I just totally messed it up. I didn't know the whole, timing of everything. And then I was stressed out that he missed his alarm, and I was just trying to help. But
it's a dicey situation because you don't want to wake them up to ruin the nap because if they wake up before that alarm, it's like a
yeah, startled the bear.
Yeah, I don't want to ruin your pregame routine, whatever. Tyler wakes up freaked out if I wake him up,
Yeah.
So it is kind of that line where you're like, is he gonna miss the game if I don't wake him up?
If there is a video camera on me, I tiptoed in there and I was like, what is my next move? And I stood there for a minute,
yeah, it's tough.
Do I go in? Do I and then I just went for it. And I was like,
yeah,
screw it. Yeah.
I mean, you're looking out for him, right? I mean, he
might
be
they got to win.
You, but
he played solid. We were good. So I was like,
good.
We're good.
Yeah. Didn't ruin it. Okay, so we have to talk about this. So obviously last week we talked about, the 2 teenagers thing that happened to me, being startled and whatever. And after we shot the podcast, our producer, Maddie, Googled, I think he Googled Ty Toffoli children or Ty Toffoli kids. And it came up that we had 2
secret family
kids named Leo and Mila. So then I Googled.
Very cute names, by the way.
Super cute. And then I Googled something else, a variation. I think I did Tyler Toffoli children. And I think I got one daughter named Olivia. This is all AI. The little AI thing happens.
Yeah, the AI assist that comes up now.
Pops up. So then you Googled.
Yeah.
And what'd you get?
I got Aaliyah, which was different. I was like, wow.
And yours said, and they're very actively posting Aaliyah on social media.
Yeah.
And I kept doing it. And then I did it again. I got an Aria. I got a Tyson. However you put our names, Kat Toffoli children, the Toffoli's children, whatever, a new AI thing pops up. So now I'm very creeped
dying.
out. It's very weird. If AI is really taking over the world, get your facts straight, like.
Yeah. Where's AI fact checkers?
Well, yeah, right. So I don't know. I think partly this rumor on Twitter of Tyler being Macklin and Will's father has gone a little bit too far where it might be a thing, but news to us that AI Assist has all these children.
Well, move over Leo and Olivia and Mila and Aaliyah and all the other kids you've got.
And Aria.
Because you got 2 20-year-olds coming in next season.
those are my 2 fave kids. So Will and Mac are my favorite of my 8 children. So
speaking of, sharks are staying hot in the news. Someone's car getting busted by the bus. What is going on in San Jose?
I don't know, but it's like it's just all natural content. It just keeps happening. Not to say like poor Macklin getting his car hit is content, but it's funny like just how these crazy things keep happening. And for a last place team, like poor Macklin, like literally the Rangers bus just backed up right into his car.
And that's have where a beeping system, like
right, but that's I don't even know how it happened. There's this photo of the bus that I was LOLing at because it's really funny. But that's where all the fans gather after the game to see the guys. And Macklin's car is just right where the fans are. So they all had this front row view to it happening. And he's just on the phone. Yeah, he's on the phone calling like his insurance or something. And meanwhile, they're flying to LA right after the game. So he's got to catch this flight, and all the fans are just like, "Oh my god!" Like I think they all were feeling for him, but they're also taking pictures. Of it.
Also, like, so you just play a game, which I saw they lost, and then it's like, here, go file a police report. Like,
it was a bad loss, and then he has he has to learn. Somebody tweeted something funny, like he has to learn about like car insurance now or something.
Like crazy stuff like that happens. So I remember, and I wish I had gotten the story from Jeff, but. A car got hit in the parking garage in Montreal too, and it was just another one of those like
so mortifying.
Like they pack those cars in like sardines in Montreal. You remember that? And
it gave me anxiety. Like I would never want to drive the car there because I was like, oh, I don't
yeah, it was and we had like a strict rule there that there was only one car per family, so there was a lot of carpooling being done, and then. Yeah. There's not a lot of room you're downtown. So I remember, I don't want to say whose car it was, but it was crazy. It was like, but they were already in the rink and it was like already at the game. So it was like, they came out and it was just like, hey, by the way, we already got this taken care of, but your car is a little dinged up. It's like,
it's funny.
Gosh. Not as bad as one year. I really need to get my facts straight, but one year Jeff was flying somewhere and they had loaded an airplane, and they always drive the bus like right next to the plane, depending on what airport that they're, if they're going domestic, they usually pull the bus right up next to the plane. The guys get on the plane, whatever. The guys are sitting there, and the bus runs into the plane, the wing of the plane.
Oh.
The guys were in Montreal. Jeff was playing for Montreal this time. They were playing in either playing in Tampa and going to Florida, and I think they ended up having to I don't know. They had to
find a new plane, probably.
Find a new plane, or I don't know, bus to Florida. I don't know. Anyways, bus ran into airplane. Was not good.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of things like that that happen. Like just
like if a guy forgets his passport, God forbid, and the whole plane gets held up. You know what I mean? Stuff like that happens all the time.
That's always the panic of the team service guy texting as you're on the way to the airport, don't forget your passports, because you could be hitting up another domestic city and then going to Canada. So you're not really thinking I need to put my passport.
I think that's Ty's always his question to me is do I need my passport this road trip? I'm
just
like,
always
take
it.
Just bring it. Yeah. What are you doing?
Just take it. Yeah.
I take it. What if, if I'm going somewhere, what if an opportunity arises to then go out of the country, you know? Who knows?
Okay, and up next, we are going to talk to Dr. Sarah Goodbranson, all things how she has maintained practicing dentistry across countries, balancing it all with her kids and just really being there and the kind of, support and mental aspect of, living through injuries with her husband and seeing him back on the ice finally. And that's up next.
All right, so we are back with our guest. She is a mother of two. She is a dentist, and she's the wife of Eric Goodbranson. So please welcome Dr. Sarah Goodbranson.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so
Welcome
much
to
for
Never
coming.
Offside.
Thank you.
So funny, Sarah. When I first met you, when Ty was traded to Calgary, and something that I immediately noticed with you, and I thought was so funny, was your Instagram bio.
Oh, it's long. It's very long.
It's long.
Yes.
Can you explain it?
I have every city that we've lived in or that I've lived in, except for one actually, but that's fine. Um, but yeah, just kind of a chronological history of every place that I've ever lived or called home.
It's so funny. Um, so a lot of people were asking how you and Eric met, just for the background of all these moving around. All this.
Yeah, so background of all of this is, there's a little bit background to this. So I grew up small town in Northern Ontario, and I had a childhood dream of going to dental school or going med school growing up until I wanted to be a dentist, but in Florida. And then I did a careers project in high school, realized how crazy it actually would be to make it somehow down to Florida for school. Anyways, long story short, I somehow ended up in Florida, and one of my girlfriends that I worked doing beer promotions through university, she moved down at the same time as I started dental school, and she invited me over to this guy she just started dating's house. Um, so we met there. I was going through like a crazy breakup at the time. 6 months later, I was finally in like a very good place, and we all had a beach day. I actually, probably for the only time in my entire life, skipped school to go to the beach this day with everyone, and we just started talking that day. We really hit it off, and then here we are, like 11 years later.
Can you just talk about your journey of becoming a dentist in the background there?
Yeah, so both of my parents are dentists, so cliche, join the family business, but I always swore growing up that I would never go into dentistry. I worked in their office like from the time I was like 10 years old. I was the janitor to start. I'd do anything I could to kind of help out with like the family practice. And I always loved science. I loved everything to do with the human body. I loved anatomy. I loved everything to do with medicine. I always thought I wanted to be a sports medicine doctor. Um, and then I volunteered at Stick Kids for a summer and realized that emotionally I am my father and I would take everything home with me. It's amazing the people that can do that and can kind of compartmentalize and do everything that they can in those places. But for me, I
Mhm.
definitely wear it and I don't, yeah, I don't let it go as easily. So I think that for me, that career would have been way too tough. So I actually started learning more about dentistry from my parents' associate. Learning from somebody other that wasn't my parents, I think, was really helpful for me. We had him and his friend who was a family medicine doctor over for dinner, and they kind of both explained their different professions, why they chose what they did. And that was when I kind of switched. I was like, okay, this is actually really cool because it is a combination of science, art. There's so much patient interaction. You build like such strong relationships with your patients too. So that was kind of my pivoting moment. And then yeah, somehow made the Florida thing work at a school that I really wanted to go to. So it was pretty awesome.
It's really cool. So a lot of people were also asking, and Julie and I were talking about this, all the moving around to different teams, and you keep the career going between two countries. Like how have you been doing that, especially as a mom?
Yeah, that part has been tricky for sure. I feel like I'm very lucky that I started out, I mean, being Canadian also, but started out with dental school in Florida, that I did my American boards. When I was
Mm.
in school, I also did my Canadian boards, knowing that with hockey life, things are pretty unpredictable. And I said that then, I had no idea how truly unpredictable they were.
Honestly.
But I feel like
I
that
get
kind
it.
of kept the door open for me, luckily, that it's like you have to apply for a new license every place that we've moved to. But that's always like the first thing. As soon as we find out where we're going, I'm like, okay, let's get started, see what it takes, see if I can do
Gosh.
it. And almost everywhere we've been, with the exception of California, that one I had to commute home to keep working. But everywhere else, I've been really, really lucky that it is a profession that I can at least somehow get away with doing most places.
Well, and there's
And
kind of a synergy with being married to a hockey player because you know teeth
Yeah.
are like a
I'm
big.
knocking on wood as we speak. Oh, the
Yes.
amount of
It,
times that I get that, I'm like, yeah, it's crazy.
Wait, have you had any like team emergencies that you've assisted?
No, I was actually for one. I worked in Vancouver. I worked for the team dentist, and there was one night that he wasn't able to make it to the game, so I actually did have to like fill in for him as the team dentist for the night. I was so
stop.
nervous the entire night. So basically, most teams they have a room with a dental chair where it's like a really great dental setup. Vancouver actually had a massage table. So if something would have happened to one of the players, I would have had to be that young dentist, female dentist that comes in and is like, okay, now flip your legs upside down, lean back, and let me see what's going on. So the whole night I was so on edge. I was like, oh my goodness, if something actually does happen, this would be insane. And this was the same year that Chris Tanev lost like 7.5 teeth one of those games. I was like, if this goes down tonight, somebody's laughing at me, but
So did
luckily
anything
nothing did happen. But
Okay, I was
So
gonna say,
funny.
and then what did Eric think of that? Like, did you guys ride to work together that night? Like, did you, you know?
luckily we didn't. We lived so close to the arena in Vancouver, so he went early. Yeah, I think he's like, oh no, that's really cool. He was very supportive, but also probably secretly just like really hoping that nothing happens to anyone's teeth as
Yeah.
well.
Well, yeah, he doesn't want any one of the guys on the team to have to go put their legs up and then you have to go look in their mouth.
Yes, exactly.
I'm gonna like
Oh,
Google that after this. I want you to send
yeah.
me a photo of that because I'm trying to
I don't
That
even
visualize
know
is
if I have one, but I'm going to find one now because yeah, it was an experience for sure.
That is so crazy. Well, it's super impressive and I feel like we're just like Instagram friends and of course like we have mutual friends. So we all see each other like bopping along on our and you're just such a light and you're always like you are a dentist, but you have the most beautiful, like just joyful smile. And I love following your journey and literally like watching you, like you're following your path on your Instagram profile. It's it's really incredible. And with kids, like, I mean, it's no small feat to move that many times, but then you've mixed in children. And how has that been? And how do you manage, I guess, the balance of it all? Of like, are you a super type A person? Like, what does it take?
Uh, I was a super type A person, but luckily Eric is like such a Capricorn and he has calmed me down and leveled me out when it comes to all of the things that I was type A about. I'm not as crazy with that anymore. Like when we first started dating, he would truly book flights for the completely wrong day. I'd drop him off at the airport and he's like, oh yeah, my flight's not today. So
Oh my.
I've had to kind of adjust with that, and I definitely am a lot more go with the flow, especially with having kids now and with all these moves. I think everything just kind of you have to take it one day at a time. So yeah, I've definitely calmed down on that a lot. A lot. I still do the things that I can plan or can be in my control. I do, but yeah, beyond that, I have kind of let things go a lot and also just kind of, I guess, taking it in and like enjoying the ride because you do realize, especially with everything changing so frequently, Kat, you know this too, how much we're so lucky. Like there's so many amazing relationships that you get to form, amazing people that you get to meet along the way, and amazing opportunities just with every change that comes. So I think just kind of taking that in stride and realizing that it's like we're very fortunate to have this really cool life where everywhere you move to, you do get this instant group of people, like amazing people that you're connected with. So I think that's definitely been a big help for kind of, yeah, for my approach to how crazy things have been.
Has it been hard to find like childcare in each city? Because I know every city it's kind of different. Like, and it's funny connection between the good Bransons and me, which I like put it full circle together when I ran into you guys at the outdoor game. But your sister-in-law was my babysitter in Montreal, which like
Yes.
just the wildest world. So like Catherine and her sister Florence, they were hi if y'all are listening. They were like my saving grace in Montreal because I moved there and started having all of our kids there. And if I didn't have Florence and Catherine, like I would have been in a puddle.
Oh my God, that's why I remember her telling me that when we first met too, and I was like, "Oh, that's amazing. I've heard a lot about them, but I didn't know you at the
Yeah.
time." But yeah, she's always spoke so highly of you and so highly of your kids, so that
Oh,
was like so important to her too. That's so wild.
yeah. Small world. But has it
Very small
been
one.
like I don't know, different cities, like it's weird. Like Detroit's like really hard to find childcare here. Like I have to rely on my mother-in-law like
Some
more
teams are like
often.
competitive. Like,
Yeah.
there's like a couple of good
Yeah,
babysitters.
Yeah,
it's
truly.
crazy. Yeah, I feel like we were very, very lucky. My friend Rachel Gagne, she's amazing, and she in Calgary, she helped me. One of her friends was still babysitting and actually helped us there a lot. So that was like the best ever start to having a babysitter was having
Yeah,
somebody that was like close to someone that I trusted so much. Rachel's
exactly.
like my everything she does. She balances everything so well. I kind of like I've learned so much from her. So having her help me kind of guide in that direction too. Columbus was hard, definitely at first. We had like a crazy change of events happen this summer with our situation. And for me to start work again in the fall, we had a really wild situation with somebody that we tried to use for a week, and it was the worst week and worst amount of things that could have gone wrong in 1 week ever. That I was just like, "Okay, this is so wrong. This is not happening." So that definitely didn't work out. But we are so lucky now. Sean Corrali, one of Eric's teammates, we were talking in the gym about what was going on with this babysitter that we were trying to hire. And he's like, "I'm from Columbus." He's like, "I must know somebody." And we're like, I'm telling this whole story. Like, you're like a single guy. Like, you don't care about my
Yeah.
story about finding a babysitter or whatever. But he went home, was talking to his mom at the dinner table, and his mom's like, I have just the person for them. So it's one of their family friends that Sean grew up with.
That's
She's
the
a
best.
literal angel. She used to teach kindergarten, grade one for like 7 years, and found that she was like having so much stress from the public school system here that this year she decided to switch to something different, was looking for something, and it's worked out so amazing. She's so incredible with our kids. She's
Oh,
unbelievable. So we got very, very lucky, but yeah, it's very challenging trying to
I think
find
that's how
somebody.
it works out too. Like to have somebody that's like a degree of separation where you kind of know them but you don't know them but enough until you're in a new city that you can trust them enough, and it's a huge change. So to be able to have that one degree of separation of like, okay, well, we're good friends with their mom, their son. So um I'm happy that's worked out for you because it can be so just challenging, and like it pulls at your heartstrings because you're just like, how am I gonna try to be there and enjoy my husband's games while like making sure my kids are safe and taken care of, and do all these things in a city that nobody. Like
It's so true.
it's challenging.
Well, speaking of adjusting, I think you guys have us beat by one team. I think you're 8 teams, right?
We're eight, yes.
so
You
so
guys are
What a
you've got us
seven.
challenge.
beat. You've got us beat.
Have
Oh
you
my
between
goodness.
between the two of y'all, have you covered? No, because you guys have been on some of the same teams, but I'm
I know,
like,
I feel
you
like we're
guys have
getting
I
probably
was
there
covered.
though.
Yeah, I wonder. Actually, I want to see like a stat of both of the teams and how many we've
Get one of
got.
those
Yeah,
mats.
how many cross
Yeah,
over.
yeah.
But yeah, do you have? Obviously, we love a good trade story. Do you have any like crazy trade stories?
Oh my goodness. Um, our craziest one was definitely when he got traded from Florida to Vancouver, because I think at that point neither of us saw it coming. Like he was in Africa with one of his teammates on a trip, and I was in Florida at our apartment in dental school. So I got home from night clinic, and I was literally sat down. I like made my dinner, sat on the couch, and just started like scrolling through Instagram, and I saw that he got traded. And then 2 seconds later, his agent calls me and he explains everything. And I was like, okay. I'm like, is this good for him? Like, is this a good trade? And he's like, yeah, it is. I'm like, okay, then it's fine. Eric found out 12 hours later because he was on a riverboat cruise
Oh,
with no Wi-Fi. So everybody knew he'd been traded and he had no clue. And he just signed a 3-year extension. So it was like one of those crazy, just you would have never seen it coming. They won their division that year, so the team was really good. That was one of those wild ones that you just have no idea. But I'd say that's like the most caught off guard we've ever been caught.
gets off
And
of a
then
river cruise and
12 hours
finds out
later.
he's traded literally across the continent. That's
yes, it's
wild.
crazy. There was someone like right when he finally turned his phone on too, they were sitting at like I don't know, somewhere outside eating, and the table behind them, a guy was wearing a Canucks hat too. He's like, what are the chances? This is so weird.
Whoa! Oh my
Crazy.
god,
Yeah, really weird.
that's a
Well,
crazy.
of those eight, 8 places. Yeah, because Kat, you're 7. What has been your favorite spot to live in, if you can answer, or what has been your favorite thing about each, if we have time?
Ooh, I'd say favorite spot pre-kids definitely was playing in Anaheim was amazing. It was so cool because it was, I don't know, you live in like a little bubble there. It's like not real life. I understand that. It was like beautiful. Like we'd walk down to the beach every night. All of our neighbors would come. We would like bring like a little chair and a tea and just like watch the sunset. Your days kind of revolve around that. Everyone there was so welcoming, so friendly. It was just such a cool, crazy place to like live before kids. That was really
Hmm.
special. Um, and then I'd say favorite season, cat that season in Calgary was hands down. I don't think I will ever have had more fun in a single season than that year. Like we just as a team collectively, everybody was close. We went out before the games. We'd meet for like just for drinks or for like food before the games almost every time. We'd celebrate everything. Like we had 100th game party that year. We had any little thing that we could possibly celebrate, the team went out and celebrated. I was pregnant for half of it, and it was still the best year ever.
It's so funny when people ask me like about different groups of girls. I always was like, that Calgary team was fun. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was just a fun group
I
of girls.
love
It
I love a group that will get
was.
together to celebrate anything, and any
Yes,
Hmm.
excuse to celebrate anything that always changes the dynamic and the vibe and sets a tone.
it does. Yeah, it was that was amazing. So that was my favorite overall fun year. And then Columbus, like we absolutely love it here. We had no idea what we were signing up for coming here, but it's we have a really, really special group of people here, a special city. It's an amazing place to live, and it's been a really special place for us to call home for the past 2.5 years, I guess.
What are some of your favorite things to do there as a fan?
We go to the zoo a lot. It's like 20 minutes from our house. It's not too far, so we do go just like walk around with the kids. It's easy for them to run around, do whatever. They love it every time. So we do that a lot. There's really good, like sneaky good restaurants here.
Hmm.
So we go out for dinners. There's like a really, really cute little market around the corner from our house that has like a little restaurant, a little cafe. There's like little shopping carts for the kids. We honestly spend a lot of time there too. But yeah, there's lots of good little things to do here.
I was laughing the other day at your Instagram. You guys were, I think it was like your daughter's gymnastics class, and you're filming her and your husband in this gymnastics class. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, what are the other parents thinking when your husband is standing there doing the cutest little dances and he's this big, burly, muscled, tattooed man, and your little daughter, like that just must be a spectacle for people to watch. Like Eric Goodbranson is at Tiny Tots Gymnastics. Like it's the
Oh,
cutest thing.
he was doing like the full like hip circles,
Yeah.
everything too. It was yeah. I mean, that's one of my favorite things to watch. I think that's another like beautiful part of Columbus is like the fans here are incredible. Everyone loves hockey, but I don't think many people truly know who they are outside of the rink. They don't pay attention or make it, I don't know, make it noticed, I guess,
Yeah.
even if they do. So it's kind of like you can live your life just as you normally would, do all the family things with no worry about anything like that. So
Yeah.
um, honestly, don't I, everyone's doing it together, so I don't even think they noticed him. But but it is quite the difference between him and Zoe up there.
It's is the cutest thing, but yeah, it is like you actually said it perfectly because if it was like you're in a Canadian city where it's like, in Montreal, if you're going to like a gymnastics class with your kid, I mean, it's going to be in the news the next day. Like
Yes.
it's just the difference of, focus or, other things going on, whether it's college football in Columbus, there's
So
different
true.
focuses, but it's super cute, super fun to watch your family, and Columbus has such a special thing going right now. It's really fun to admire and see. I love watching you girls at your workout classes, like the whole vibe. You guys have got it going.
I literally DM'd Sarah and I was like, "How many people do you work out with? And are you
Yeah.
all friends?" Like,
That was a 1 day thing. It was actually a really cute event. It was like a 1 year anniversary for something that it was so overflowed in this workout class that they had to add, like, I worked out without a mat that day. It was like a full mat class and they just had no extra mats by the end of it because there was that many people. She's like, is that a
That's
mirror?
awesome.
Like, it's like, how many people
Yeah.
are in there? Truly, it was like 150. It was wild.
I like went
Usually it's
back.
6 of us. Yeah, it was crazy. It was very fun. Good
And
for
it's like
her. Good
six,
for both of them.
it's like six of you from the team normally.
Yeah, usually it's out. It's closer to where most of the other girls live. Odette actually started at the beginning of this year. She'd been going, and it's so nice to have like set time that I can actually have a sitter and make sure that I go and do something with the girls. You kind of get your social time in, and also get in a really good workout. So it's been really fun.
I love that. I love when there's a scheduled, like, it's two birds, one stone sort of thing.
So
Um,
true.
but this season also has been really special. We just saw that your husband was dealing with an injury, and I can feel that deeply this year as my husband had battled an injury, and just Eric coming back and playing his first game of the season. Like, what kind of toll uh, does that take on you and him and your family, just everything about it? But you guys from afar navigate it so gracefully, and you're just still so involved with the team. It's I don't think people on the outside know what kind of just like it's stressful, to watch an injury and watch your husband not be able to play, but to watch him come back was really cool.
Yeah. I'll say I'm so proud of him. Like I get almost like emotional. That whole game, even just every game now, every little part of it with him being back is so special. This was his fifth surgery, so he's had a lot in the past. I'd say the ones that like he had a few surgeries in Vancouver, and those few years for us were really, really hard. So I think as soon as I think surgery, I think back to those times and how difficult it was on him and us mentally, and just the pressure, the everything that they go through with like trying to rehab and get back to being healthy. And then Vancouver, when that happened, he ended up with another season-ending injury right after that. So it's really sad because you see them working so hard to kind of to do what they love and putting everything out there. And I mean, it's definitely such a mental grind for him. I'd say this year with everything, I think perspective has been like all-time high for us. So yeah, he was incredible all year. Like the way that he handled it, the strength he had going through everything, the way that he was still there for the team, there for our family, there for everybody else around him. It was really, really special. Yeah, I'm very, very proud of the way that he's handled everything, the way that he's evolved as like a person, as a teammate, as a husband, father, like that he was able to do and handle everything the way that he did this year.
Oh, it's it. I just know. I feel it as gracefully as he navigated, like you alongside him. That just shows what kind of support you're giving from your side too. Not only like balancing kids and your job and all of that, but it's the mental aspect of it all, and it is a grind for everybody. And I feel that so, so deeply for you. And just, I'm so happy for you guys that you got to see him, make his season debut, because it is the little things, and just to get him back on the ice. And I know with your kids, like getting to take your kids, it's different. Like you can take them to a game and stuff, but to get them to go see dad back on the ice, like you said, like I could get emotional for you just thinking like just that one game was worth it. Like,
Yeah.
and then build from there.
Yeah, it's pretty special. These guys, I mean, it's wild because you see like I feel like when it happens, they get injured. They're like, oh, and he's up for this amount of time, and then they're just not expected, but it's like the way that I think that it's perceived. It's like they're back, and they're like, okay, you're good. Like, let's go. Like, it's kind of almost robotic the way that it is, but
Yeah.
there's so much behind the scenes and so much that goes into them getting back to being healthy again. And
Hmm.
mentally strong, and even like after not playing for that long to get into like the mental side of playing your first game in however many months with a body that you haven't done that for so long. So it's wild. It's so impressive. The more that I learn about what they do and just the little thoughts and detail that goes into every little part of their sport is it's incredible.
How was the kids' reaction to the first game back?
They were so excited. I mean, my son is like the most excited person all day, every day. But he stayed, well, the game went into overtime, but he was there till the very end with me, right beside me, watching the game. The last 5 minutes, he was like, "Okay, Mom, I think I'm tired. I'm done." But yeah, they were so excited. They're just like running. It's my favorite part of game days. They run around the entire arena. Like our family room is like, you have to go all the way around the arena to get there, and they just sprint around together. They like chat with everyone in the building on the way, say hi to everyone underneath. Like everyone's just so friendly and it's so cool just like seeing even like that like little community that there is within the hockey world that's even separate with like the waitresses, the wait like every single
Mhm.
person downstairs. It's really cool. So yeah, it's very special to see again.
Well,
Love
that's so
that.
fun. And now you got the rest of the season. You know, the last, what are we in? Two weeks here?
Oh my God, is it?
I know, you guys, it's so crazy.
It's
But
yeah, flying, but also later into April than usual. So it's seems
yeah,
long.
it
Yeah,
feels like I feel like the date is throwing me off that it's like a mid-April end. But
yeah.
Well, I
uh
know. I know the last date of our season for sure. So that's nice for me.
well,
But
yeah, well,
Yeah,
that's
we do not, Julie.
we do not, and I don't
No.
know what is more mentally taxing. I was just talking to Jeff too, and maybe you can uh like commiserate in it. Is like I just want your games to be played like I can't I'm like so anxious for the next game. Like do I have to wait till tomorrow and then I have to wait till Friday and then I'm like can we just like get them done? Like I just
It's
want to know. Like
I know. It's the most
I'm
exciting hockey ever. It's like it's because every single game means so much. Like that you feel
everyone.
it in the arena. It's everyone is so excited. Everyone's on the edge of their seat the whole game. It's like playoff games right now
Yeah.
in the position that everyone that's battling for this wild card spot did. It's
Yeah.
so cool.
Which is like 5 teams, which is insane. Like 5 or 6 teams. It's really wild. I don't think I've ever been in a situation, but I think it's just it's also a mental grind. Like I'm trying to like I gotta maintain my anxious energy because I'm just like, can it be the game day already? Like
Do you have
I'm
any tips? Because yeah,
just stay busy. Put your kids in all the activities and just stay busy because
as if
I
we don't talk enough, Julie called me yesterday and just was like rambling on about like not the unknown.
I hate this like unknown. I'm like, God, they're doing it again. Like I
wild.
just like a solid yep or nope. This whole like purgatory right now really
That's a good way to put
sucks.
it.
Yeah. But I always tell myself like it is already written. It'll be what it'll be. I cannot control any of this.
Yeah, yeah.
See, I think the opposite with my superstitions. I fully think that I could control the narrative, but apparently not this year.
Yeah,
But
with your socks, with your dirty socks.
I
do
love
you?
that so much.
Well, do you guys have any superstitions? Do you or Eric?
I'd say not superstitions. We're big like manifestors, I guess you could say. I feel like all the girls on our team are right now. It's
Yeah.
yeah, we're big at that, but I'd say superstitions not as much anymore. He's like relaxed on a lot of the things that he used to do. Now that we have kids, he's like settled down on a lot of things, so it's kind of
Okay, so
nice.
what are the girls doing to manifest? Like, what are the
Oh,
vibes?
oh, like writing down like CBJ will win tonight. CBJ will win tonight 10
Oh, I
times over.
love that. I
It's
mean, I hate
amazing.
that for us, but I love that
I
for
know.
you.
Sorry to every other team right now,
Well,
but we're
yeah.
really putting it out there.
You know what? Good for you guys. I better start my vision board bigger, bigger, bigger after this
Yes.
conversation.
Just
Just put it
manifest.
out there,
Uh, mhm. I'm gonna hijack the team baby shower I'm hosting tomorrow, and I'm gonna turn it into a manifestation
Team
party.
manifestation.
Sorry, here's your mini vision board. Get to work.
I love that.
Just pulling my weight here. Uh, I love it. I love that. That reminds me of Montreal Cat when we were there. It was just like everything. We felt like we had like a duty,
The
like
good vibes only
good vibes
Instagram post.
only. I mean,
I
I
love
became
that.
like that became psychotic,
It
borderline.
was it took over my mornings. Like I had to find a perfect song for it to repost your post, and
Yeah,
then
it took over my life and my sanity. I would be getting messages upon messages, like if it took a little bit later in the day for me to post,
oh
like
yeah,
people thought
I would get
something.
mad at you. I'd be
Yeah,
like, post
it was.
that
I was
thing.
getting it from every angle. I was like,
Oh
I'm,
my
it's
gosh.
coming. Like,
Yeah, so Sarah, we
That's
we literally posted on our Instagram stories and tagged all the girls, and it was just like this thing with a hockey puck that said "good vibes only." Like, I don't even know where you found that. Like, did you
it
Google
really,
that?
it became like if I look, like if I'm looking back at it now, if I like went to my old stories, I'd be like, "You're
What were
such a
you doing?
loser. You're such a
that's
loser." But then like people started making us like company like made us like all these like bracelets, like
Bracelets, yeah.
bracelets. Like it became this like city like collective thing, and I couldn't
Yeah,
let the people down
it
with
was cool.
that's
I loved it.
it.
amazing.
I think I bought a sweatshirt that said "good vibes only" during that time.
I was made stuff. Like you guys, I have like boxes filled with like good vibes only like stuff that was sent to me because I was the anyways,
We'll
it
have a
took over.
manifest.
Yeah,
I
it was
love that.
that version of manifesting.
So you guys
Yes.
manifested all at the Team Bachelorette. We were loving following
Uh,
along with that.
Did we ever? Oh my goodness.
that looked
Yeah,
so
we actually,
fun.
yeah, we put it out there. It didn't work that night, but you know what? We tried our best.
How was that? Who were the brides again?
Odette and then Maddie Provorov. But
I
Maddie
don't
and
know
Evan
what.
are already married, but we didn't get to celebrate at the end of last year, so we celebrated for her this year too.
It looked like a time. So
It was a time. Dre Severson is the funniest and most amazing person in the entire world.
So I met Dre on the concourse at the outdoor game too. And then I just saw the Instagram of her on stage singing
Yes.
with the band, and I was like, that's my girl.
Yeah,
Like
she
that.
had bruises the next day from her tambourine. It was
I love it.
incredible.
wait, so explain how that happened. Like, how'd she get up there? Like,
I don't know. I feel like it's just what she.
It's what she
But
does.
yeah, she somehow just went up. They gave her a tambourine. At first, she had like the little blow ups that, and even those. I was picking up the stuff that we were gonna do for the Bachelorette, and my son's like looking at the Etsy screen. He's like, "You need
Yeah.
to get these." I'm like, "Okay, let's go." So we carried around like a blow up Ivan and Zach all night, and Dre was dancing with them, and it somehow got her on stage. And then yeah, it was a whole thing. It was amazing. It was just so funny.
I love it. It was epic, and I love a good tambourine. I mean,
Love a good tambourine.
uh,
Very underrated instrument.
so fun for you girls, and I love how y'all lean all into it, and everybody just went for it. And I think it's so fun this time of year, especially. I feel like all the bachelorettes and all the baby showers and things like that are really, I think everybody does that kind of around March and April. And so I just love seeing everything across the league and all the different celebrations.
Yeah, it's awesome. I find it gets usually planning these parts, you probably find this too towards the end of the year, like, oh my goodness, like it gets to be a lot, but it is amazing. Every year I'm like, we're gonna do this early, we're gonna get it done early so that not
Yeah.
everything's the end of the year. And then it always ends up being the end of the year, but but it's so worth it. It's so
I
fun.
mean, it's cool for you guys that it's during an exciting time. You know what I mean? It's not just like winding down.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, it's so perfect.
Cat winding down.
Just winding down. Yes, as I'm
No.
unfortunately planning our team, end of the year party. So, like
Which sounds like it's
Yeah.
going to be fun. I mean, the vibes are high with the Sharks. Whether
very high.
y'all have gathered points or not, vibes are high there. And that is this building block of the future. So there's that. And Kat Toffoli's leading the charge with
Go Cat.
housing.
With good vibes only.
Did you hear, Sarah, that she's going to be housing 2 players next year? Uh,
I
Macklin
I'm
and
not.
Cole?
It's just this online rumor, and now Julie's
I
ramping
saw that.
it up.
Oh my goodness. Somebody asked you if you had two teenage boys.
Yeah, okay. So this is crazy. But I thought that it was the narrative of social media because our fans here are so big on social and they love these 2 kids. So they turned it into this whole like they're our kids. But Julie and I have talked about how apparently if you just Google me and Ty, we have like 7 kids. So
Oh my goodness.
like
Just from
AI,
everyone you've
Yeah.
taken in on every team.
I get maybe like it's just a weird AI got fooled by I guess hockey social
Yeah.
media maybe who knows but
That's
It's
so funny. It's the
hilarious.
sleepovers for sure.
I love
love
that.
how's this group of girls compared to that fun Calgary team? Like is it similar?
It's, I'd say it's not the same. Like we don't go out as much as a team here. It's harder because everyone does live farther here. Like I feel like Calgary, everyone lived like 10 minutes from downtown. So everyone would go out after the game. So that's the one thing that we don't do as much here. And there are a lot of young families too. So that's a little bit different. But the girls, we do everything. Like it's one of those where like there any charity thing, like anything that comes up and they're like, hey, can you girls come? And every single girl's on board every time. That's pretty amazing. Like yeah, just planning any little thing, everyone joins in, and I feel like that makes it so special, makes you want to plan more,
Hmm.
and it makes everything that you do so much more enjoyable. So we like collectively have such an unbelievable group of girls that everyone shows up always.
What are some of the fun things you guys have done? Maybe to help out with charities like before a game or anything. Have you guys done anything like that this season?
Yeah, we do a lot of Salvation Army drives before games. Columbus is really special. They have a really close connection with Ronald McDonald House here. So they kind of give us free reign that whatever we want to do, like if we have any suggestion of what we can do, that like we can host a bingo night, we can bring an ice cream truck, we can do whatever to make it special. There's also two rooms that the girls here actually take care of. So there's the princess room here, which is really cute. We get to like get like all like little dresses for the girls to put on,
Cute.
little wands, all little things for them to, and it's a beautiful, beautiful room. So we're in charge of upkeeping that and making sure that it stays special for them. There's an amazing Blue Jackets room in the basement. There's like this really cool staircase at the Ronald McDonald House here that the Jackets have actually turned into this like tree house. It has a Zamboni in it. There's a slide that can help you get you down the stairs. It's very special. So the Jackets are very, they're very, I guess, like a huge part of just the Columbus community, the hospital, the Ronald McDonald House. So it's pretty amazing the opportunities that we do have to really help out here and make a difference, not just kind of like showing up for the events, showing your face. It's like you're actually put to work, which is really special.
It's been really
Amazing.
cool to see you girls like lean in from line change perspective. We do a lot with the Blue Jackets, and every team is different from who we work with, and hands down, the Blue Jackets working with them is a dream because of not only they're ideating on like sky's the limit of what we can do in terms of like marketing and bringing you girls in, but because you girls show up and are so prevalent already like on the concourse for the event, it's like that is it, it's just such a dream from like working perspective and working with a team that has a group of wives that's so involved. Like I can't, like obviously I knew that from being a wife myself, and it just makes a difference from like our side, but now I'm on like the other side too, and it is just so wonderful. Like it makes everything just 10 times better. And the whole team, the whole organization, getting to work with them has been so fun, and has been, just like I said, a dream to work with.
Oh, that's special to hear. Thank you. Yeah, I mean everyone here is in they're all on board for everything. And you guys with the sweater that Meredith did, that sold out so quickly. That was the amount of people that I had coming up to me after like, how do I get one? How do I end up giving my babysitter's mom my sweater because that you could not get
Oh,
them. Like you guys,
yeah.
that was yeah, you guys did incredible with that. So good job. That was awesome.
Well, it was an amazing response, and I wish we could do more, and it potentially more will be coming in the future. But it was really wild how quickly that sold out, and just super special and happy that we could help and contribute, because you guys have just done such an amazing job, supporting Meredith and the organization in general. It's just the reaction and response, and banding behind their entire family has been uh, very powerful, and just beyond her, but just showing you like what the NHL family means. And y'all have been the perfect picture of what support truly looks like on and off the ice. So that's kudos to you guys. So
Thank you. Yeah, Meredith, I mean, you guys know she's such a special person, and that's just she I feel like she her community that she has around her is incredible. Like whether it's like her close friends from home, her family, her everyone. Like I mean, if you see John and Mary this summer, it's like every summer they're at a wedding every weekend because that's truly who they are. Like you meet them and you gravitate to them instantly. They're just such special people. So yeah, like that's just the what they kind of attract and what they bring around is you're always going to be there for them.
Hmm.
So that's yeah, that's who they are.
It's nice.
Definitely.
It's nice that you all are together and are so close, and already were so close. So it's nice that you guys are all able to support each other.
We like to
Breed
wind
all in
down
one.
with our quick shootout questions.
Yeah.
So we are going to start off. Kat, you go first.
What are you and Eric watching right now?
Ooh, Severance. Not sure about it though.
I've
I
had
haven't
several
started.
people. Yeah, I've had several people tell us we should watch it, but I feel like that's a show I need Jeff with me, and he's not around much anymore.
Yeah, everyone loves it. They say it's great. It's like kind of freaking me out a lot, to be honest. I don't know. We'll
Like,
get back to you on that one
yeah,
once we're deeper
I'll
in. I
start
feel like
it.
maybe we're not quite there yet with it, but yeah.
That's funny.
All right, what is your favorite go-to workout?
Ooh, I love running. I also love boxing. I'd say that's actually my like
Mm,
favorite, but my go-to would be just like I get on a treadmill and just sprint.
yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Favorite career moment so far of Eric's?
Ooh, wow. Oh my goodness. I'd say his 500th game where we brought all of his family to New York for it, but then he got kicked out, so I think I have to take that one off of
Wait,
off of there.
what?
Wait,
Wait,
what?
go back. You got kicked. What?
We brought his whole family there to celebrate his 500th game, and he ended up getting into a fight in the middle of the game, or like threw his gloves like halfway into the stands, got kicked out of the game. So it was yeah,
Stop.
definitely
With
not
with all
Well,
your people, with all your
with all
people
of our
there.
people there, and Eric was just down for the count, out of the game.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
oh
still a very
my
special trip.
gosh. Well,
That's
it
one
counted.
of the
It
most
counted,
memorable. It
right?
counted.
He-
Yes,
Yeah,
for
that could
sure.
be not favorite, but most memorable, I suppose.
Memorable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
did he did what would have been epic is if he came and sat with y'all in the stands
Yeah.
afterwards.
He
With
would
like a
never.
beer.
He was so angry, he would never.
He was so mad.
Oh,
Oh man. Okay, what is the best or most favorite dental office you've ever worked in, across the board, across the countries, I guess?
honestly, right now, I'm working in schools, treating kids, and I absolutely love it. It's a really cool program. It's like, I feel like I've slowly gravitated more to working with kids in every city that I've been. Like, usually I'm the associate, they're like, okay, you take all the kids. And I love that. But this job, I'm strictly working with kids. We travel around to different schools, like around the Columbus area, and it's really special. So yeah, I'd say this one right now, but it's not really an office per se.
That's cool.
I always loved in Calgary when you said that the office was kind of far, so that was like your quiet time or whatever, like
Yes,
driving to it.
it was so yeah, 45 minutes of like peace with a young baby at home. So it was
Yeah.
nice.
Oh, I would take 45 minutes in a car any day.
Right? Yeah, it
Yeah.
was great.
That stuck out to me when you were like, I love that drive. I was like, that's funny.
Yeah, I still love driving.
Yeah, it's like, and I walk there?
Yeah, right. Seriously.
You
Seriously.
probably would.
I probably would, even in
How many
like
steps?
Calgary weather. Literally. Okay, favorite thing to do on an off day.
Ooh, I'm gonna go zoo again. We're big zoo people, apparently.
I love
I
it.
was trying to text you and you weren't getting back to me, and I looked on your Instagram and you're at the zoo. So I was like, oh, okay, she's busy
That
at
lines
the
up.
zoo.
Yep.
that
Sorry.
No, I was jealous. So
Okay. And last but not least, a special writer wrote in. Meredith Goudreau asked, "What should she name their next child?"
Oh my goodness. Oh, yeah. I don't have an answer for this one, but baby is coming so soon, so we will find out in one day.
Do you have any guesses, boy or girl?
I think boy. Yeah, I've thought boy the whole time. I feel like yeah, but we'll find out tomorrow. Yeah, I don't know.
Time will
Names, I'm
tell.
not a name person. Eric has come up with all of our baby names, so I'm no help on this front. We were like Meredith and I were talking like spitballing some. I'm like, but I'm definitely not the person to come up with a name.
Oh, that's so cute. Well, we're all anxious and excited. But anyways, thank you so much for joining us, Sarah. I love getting to chat with you and catch up with you. You are just a ray of light and just incredible, balancing it all and handling all of the moves with so much grace and just I love it. You're a rock star.
Yeah,
Thank you. It was so nice getting to chat with you both.
She's so fun. I just love getting to chat with her and actually like a conversation because we're just Instagram friends and following each other's lives.
Yeah, she really is. She's just a great person to be in on a team setting. You know what I mean? Like she's just so welcoming and I love that you complimented her big smile.
I mean, it's just vibrant. Like,
It is.
the fact that she's a dentist, but like I go to her because of her smile. So she's doing a good job for herself, but that you can just, it's her personality. And you can see that as just like, she is such a warm, welcoming person. And I can just see how every team, that they've been on, like how they just fit in because they're all in people and they're there for the right reasons. They lean into it. Good vibes from that girl. But
Good vibes. Manifest.
yeah, I was gonna say the manifesting from the Columbus Blue Jackets gonna have to tone it down a notch. Coming from a Detroit Red Wings fan right now that's trying to do my very own manifesting, but
I was
no,
dying. I was like, ooh, wow, you guys are nice
isn't
that you're
that
getting
funny?
along right now.
It's going down to the wire. But yeah, all in good fun. And I mean, we get it. It's no lie. We're all locked into every game for the rest of the season. I mean, like we said, I'm just so annoyed how many days I have to wait in between games to find out our fate. Like,
Yeah.
gone are the days of being locked into the playoffs. Like this is like I'm part of it. Like I'm the one that's going. I'm like, this is the mental grind, guys. This is it.
Well, it's crazy. After they left Calgary and signed with the Blue Jackets, that next season for us in Calgary was one of those where we didn't know, I think, until the game before the last one, maybe. So it was the same. We were, everyone's
exciting, but it's also the worst.
Yeah, it's exciting, and I love that you guys said it's like playoff hockey right now.
Oh, yeah.
Even so, it's fun to watch.
It is fun, and I think they have Sarah has the perspective too. It's just like you don't take any of this for granted anymore. Like earlier on in our careers, you didn't realize like how few and far between playoffs comes, and that is not that's not looked upon lightly, at least from my eyes. And I just want it so badly, but it is, like I said, it is already written. I have no control over it. I can just control my energy and
as you're on your notepad right now doing what she said. Detroit too.
As I'm changing the whole. I'm gonna be like having girls' nights from here on out to be like, this is what we're doing. No, I'm kidding.
I love it.
So fun. Anyways, exciting next couple weeks. Gosh, I just cannot believe we're into April, and here goes. And Kat, we'll keep you posted.
Yeah, I know, right? It's funny. I might hop on a flight here in a couple hours to go just have dinner with Ty in Newport because.
What?
I'm kidding. The airport's right here, so I was like, "What are you doing for dinner? Do you have a team dinner?"
That's so cute.
I know because I love. It's funny when she said Anaheim was her favorite place. It's because Newport Beach. They live in Newport, and it's one of where Ty and I love to go, and we have our favorite restaurants there. So I was like, maybe I'll see
only
if there's
in
any
California. Like literally though, only in California would that come to mind of like, let me just like hop down to Newport. I'd be like me being like, oh, I'm just gonna jet over to Toronto for a second and then come back.
It's not just that. The airport in San Jose is very convenient. It's like right there.
It has to be small, manageable.
It's so small. You're
no passports involved.
No, and you're door to door through security in literally like 12 minutes.
What is it, like Southwest flight? Like
there's like ongoing Southwest flights everywhere,
I feel like
and they're
you could
cheap.
pay cash for those.
Like, so I'm like, maybe
$47 one way, sure.
100%. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I love that for you. I wish that was.
Well,
Maybe there's a Southwest flight to Columbus.
literally, yeah. It's
Oh.
connected me with my LA friends being funny. It's weird being back in California, but not in LA. You know what I mean? Because that's
Yeah.
where my adult life friends are. So now that I'm so close to them, you know,
Well, do it. I say do it.
I know.
Book
I
the
gotta
flight.
gotta make sure he doesn't have a team dinner. But if
Yeah.
not, I'll just surprise.
Love that.
I'm kidding.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in today to our 11th episode of Never Offside. Like, subscribe, follow. Go give our last few episodes a listen. Yeah, just keep following along and follow our Instagram because we're getting a little bit more active over there, and it's really fun. Kat manages all that. Give her props.
Well, I love the DMs. I love the positivity.
She
I love
reads
the feedback.
everything.
I read everything. I might not get back to everybody because I have my own Instagram too. But it's really fun, and we really enjoy the positive feedback, and we really appreciate everyone. So thank you, and yeah, so follow us there, and we'll see you next week.